Welcome back, Guardians. And yes, I am just gonna brush off the fact that I haven't made a video for 4 months. That doesn't matter now. Destiny 2 information's coming out. So, I guess I'm back to this. No more Elder Scrolls, unless you guys want it, but that's besides the point. So, in careless fashion, we're gonna be summing up all the things that are coming out in Destiny 2 that we know of. First off, I'd like to tell everyone that I am right. So is a lot of other people that were right. They speculated that the Cabal were going to be the ones that would be the main focus of a Destiny thing, whether it be an expansion or the entirety of Destiny 2. And that's what we have, the Cabal. More importantly, we have the Red Legion, attacking our home, the tower, and pretty much destroying it. In fact, so much so that they somehow captured our own light and are now using it for themselves. Now, themselves, more importantly, we're talking about Dominus Gaul, which is, might I add, an amazing prefix. As far as we know, there was the Brachus, the Val, the Valus, the Primus, and now we know of the Dominus. A rank reserved for elite Cabal warlords. It is the highest known Cabal rank as we know of, Dominus Gaul. The Cabal were known to be able to cut through moons just because it's in their way, and now we are getting a taste of exactly what the Cabal can do. Shutting down the Traveler and making everyone lose their light. Except for you, the legend of the story. And that's as much as we know about the story. Besides the opening scene which they gave away in the live stream, which I'm showing in the background, so for all of you that didn't really watch the hour live stream that did in fact cut in the middle of it. But that's what you're looking at. People have been speculating that we could possibly protect the tower. Some so even saying that that would be really awesome to have a raid in the tower. But I guess they just said whatever, and the tower has fallen. As for the new places that you'll be going, the tower is no longer up and running. You will be in the European Dead Zone, which we've had the competitive maps of for the past 2 years. Now we're finally going to be able to go there. It's nothing fancy, it's nothing crazy, it's just tents set up because, well, you had the tower, the last city has been being built up for centuries, and now you just kinda don't. You weren't born into the tower, the city age, this is a new age. What that age will be called, I have no idea, but I'm sure the details will be released soon enough. In Bungie fashion, we're getting a new campaign, which I've been talking about with the Red Legion and Dominus Gaul. In Bungie fashion, we get an all-new cooperative missions, we get the all-new strikes. One strike such called the Inverted Spire, which has actually been shown into the entire live stream where they send Guardians, they attack the Vex, it's on Nessus, it's pretty cool. You have a bunch of new Crucible stuff, whether it be maps, whether it be game modes, it's all there. We get an all-new raid. What the raid will be, probably killing Dominus Gaul, which he's a very big man, standing at 8'1", and very intimidating. You don't really get a good look at him, so that's kind of the mystery of it. It'll be very, very challenging. As you know, Bungie has been stepping up their raid game ever since the beginning. One of the new patrols is on each of the planets, but more importantly, we have one on Mars, which is a new one. This place was supposed to be in the Taken King, but they left it out. They had some constraints. It's kind of like a Bungie thing. Roll it over to the next one, they say. And now getting into the juicier stuff, because I'm a lore man, I don't know who you are, whether it be the Crucible or you want to delve deep into the story, but we have the European Dead Zone, we have Titan, we have IO, and we have Nessus. I've always talked about going to Titan. Personally, I thought it would be Europa. It just seemed like a better fit. There have been concept images for it for what seems like decades. But instead, we're going to be going to Titan. It's one of the largest moons of Saturn. In lore, there has been some legends of the 9 states. There are some ancient Leviathan intelligences that are on either Titan or Europa. Right now, I always thought it would be Europa, but right now I'm actually voting for Titan because I would like to get my hands on some of those intelligences. And then there's Io. This is one of the moons of Jupiter, and it was even first mentioned back in Destiny, back in the Age of Triumph. There is a lot of lore to do with this planet. I will get to each individual planet because with all the information on Destiny 2, everything is coming out. More lore, more stories, more videos, more importantly. To give you a little peek as to what the lore would be on Io, one of the legends of the 9 states that some of the original Awoken transcended to mental form live inside Io. There is a lot of lore to be had here. Some of the species that live on there are Vex and the Fallen. But moving on to Nessus. With Nessus, this was going to be your average planet, but unfortunately the Vex have a very strong grasp on Nessus. So much so that we've been living on Earth, maps between the Moon, Mars, Venus, so on and so forth. But now, with all that time the Vex have had, they've completely transformed Nessus into a machine world, more than Venus, and possibly more than Mercury. Comparing the two, Mercury and Nessus, I really could not tell you until I get a look at it, but Nessus has its own species. It's very beautiful. It's completely different from what we've actually seen. I can only compare it to the Black Garden, but the Black Garden isn't an area you can really visit, not as much as Nessus will be. And to get a grasp on exactly these places, this is Destiny 2, this is not Destiny 1. This is a sequel. This is a better, newer version of Destiny 1. These places will be bigger. The European Dead Zone is already said to be twice as big as any patrol place we've ever gone to. The missions will be longer, more thought out. The cinematics, the story will just be so much better. There will be new weapons, of course. Handful of exotics, they say, which I don't know exactly how much exotics you can fit into a handful. I wish it was a lot more than that, like maybe 2 handfuls, but I guess we're going to find out. Some of the exotics you've seen in old videos dating back a year and more ago show some of these exotics that have been in concept for such a long time that I guess they just did a bungee and rolled it over to the next one. We're getting new subclasses. The Warlocks get the Dawnblade, which is an offensive solar version of what they've had. The Titans get the Sentinel, which is yet another defensive but still offensive super. And the Hunters get the Arc Strider. Again, just another Arc Blade, but you know, he does acrobatics and it looks cool. Alongside Destiny 2, we already kind of understand what's going to happen with the DLCs. There's a picture of the expansion pass for the PS4 in Destiny 2, and it shows the Trials of Osiris logo and the Rasputin logo. I can only assume they are going to be within those areas of lore. The Trials of Osiris has always been a part of Destiny. Whether this is going to be the story, whether this is going to be more of a hardcore take on Trials of Osiris, maybe even breaking into new ground with Osiris. He's always been a mystery, and he's already been fascinating. Osiris personally is probably one of my favorite characters in Destiny that has yet to be met. You kind of do hear him in other things. And then there's Rasputin. Rasputin's always been a problem, he just seems to be even more of one. But then again, he's very important to the story. I've done an entire video on him, here's the link to it. Rasputin is one of the ones that saved us, but yet caused us to go into this terrible state that was the Dark Ages. And I guess we're going to learn more, whether he's done more or we're going to go to the past. I'm not really sure what Bungie has in mind, ever. I do my speculations, half the time I say I'm slightly right. But then again, the other half of the time I'm completely wrong and I'm just shooting past the moon beyond that. But that is a very condensed version of what Bungie has been showing us lately. You can always go back and watch the live streams, which are well over an hour, and get every little bit information in here. But what I want to know is, are you guys excited for Destiny 2? Have you guys even still been playing Destiny? Personally, I've been kind of laying back and not really touching it. I kind of maxed out everything, there's not much to do. They've always had the little things, but there was never enough to actually get me fully hooked like I used to be, way back in the day. Things that I'm excited for is lore. I love stories. I love storytelling. With the new campaign and new cinematics, we're getting a ton of new stuff. So, if you guys are excited, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. As for the little things, your character does get carried over from Destiny 1 as long as you completed the Black Garden story. If you guys even remember that story. I guess they'll be continuing it, hopefully, maybe, probably not. Maybe in year 5 or 6, or I don't even know if they even get back to it. You guys still remember the Stranger, right? She's still out there. Or maybe that will be in the Trials of Osiris DLC, because we always speculated that she was one of the people that followed Osiris. I'm not going to get into it right now. You're just going to have to wait and find out. But anyway, Guardians, that's been it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one.
So I'm excited to announce that Destiny 2 will be available for PC exclusively through Battle.net.